Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's having an awesome day so far today. It's been a slow morning for me today. Of course, it's a holiday here in America, so kind of just sort of using that as an excuse. I had a weird day yesterday. I all of a sudden had a bloody nose last night. I've never had a bloody nose before, and I'll tell you what, when those things start, they're a mess. that was that was bad. And it was weird because I got to stop and it started right back up. Got to stop again, it started right back up. After the second time, my wife, she basically forced us to go to urgent care, and by the time we got to the point of seeing the nurse, which actually didn't take long, but he's like, "Hey, here, can we take your temperature?" And I was pinching my nose the whole time, right, trying to stop this bleeding. I tried doing it, I couldn't do it because obviously I couldn't breathe. So finally, open up my nose, so open up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna probably bleed all over the place, and it just stopped. So I still waited to see the doctor, which basically they're like, yeah, probably it was just a humidity thing. I did go out yesterday. It's one of the few times I've been out since the pandemic. And they said maybe it was something with your mask. Just drying out the nose because you were wearing a mask and all this type of stuff. I don't know, just weird. But real hard part about that was I was right in the middle of redoing all my OBS stuff. Well, actually, I didn't even get to the OBS part, but trying to get all my settings redone, with my new styles. So that's what we're gonna work on today because I didn't get to it yesterday. So I just realized, noticing my green screen not showing, but that's because of let's see, that just to get me a thing, and not that's probably bothering anyone. There we go. But that was disturbed me seeing the green in the background. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm working today. I'm gonna start, which I was trying to work on Saturday, and then they just only got so much done because internet problems throughout the day. And then, like I said yesterday, when I finally got around to doing stuff, which was after dinner, I was actually making good progress, and then the whole bloody nose thing started, which was lots of fun. So we're working on that, but we'll start like we always do. Let's start with some news. Okay, Proxy BC. Okay, so let's go to our news segment. Actually, not that browser window. Sorry, I thought I had the right browser window open there. Go here. And let's just start talking about some news. And sure enough, we'll talk about news from for me ever again. Okay, Proxy BC, I don't know. Proxy BC, I don't know what. He'll teach me how to code, which is fine. But I'm not sure where you're trying to go there. And yeah, I'm okay. I mean, like I say, it was bloody nose, but it's one of those weird things. I never had, it's the first time ever in my life I've had that. All right, let's get to the news part here. Being held by hostage. All right, I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, Corteville, are you being serious, or are you trying to just play around with our chat? I'm all for having fun, but people are also here to learn some things. All right. All right, that's enough of that. Just 1 second, folks. All right, sorry about that. I don't know what Porterville is going off of, but this whole Hotchkiss thing, I have no idea. All right, so well, you've already seen the page for a little bit here. So Hey, is he still showing up? I have banned him. All right. So we just got people who want to fool around with it. You know, and oh, hold on a second. Just a second, folks. All right. So all right. There we go. Sorry about all that. I don't know what's up with those two. And I'm all, like I said, I'm all for having conversation, but you know, that obviously wasn't useful conversation. All right, so let's continue here. So Linus Torvalds apparently has decided to go with AMD. This is interesting because you know, it's definitely an interesting thing going on between AMD and Intel. I mean, you know, been in this industry long enough to know, you know, I mean, for the longest time, it was, you know, it really was a whole thing of Intel definitely being the power, you know, that's where you want your power, and then AMD was lower price stuff. But now, you know, AMD chips are you know, they're definitely getting so much. Yeah, me too, Palin. I mean, I say that's just wasn't worth the time there. I guess people just don't have you know, better things to do than to troll, you know, someone else's stream. But all right, I forgot to put my watch on. Sure. So I thought it was interesting. Now, kind of funny. He talks about that he says he upgraded his machine. Obviously, it meant he had to get a whole new machine. You can't just go to the new Threadripper, the new chip. But it was interesting to see this. You know, I just thought that was interesting to see the article. You know, he talks about, what did he say? He's getting 3 times faster than he used to be his all mod config. So you know, it's interesting to think about. Now, great job. I mean, he's put in, you know, I mean, that Threadripper, that's what, it's 32 processors, 64 cores. I mean, you know, my goodness. Of course, you're gonna get an improvement out of that. But that was interesting. It was also interesting, you know, see Beta News, how they report it. Which Beta News, yeah, I mean, all of this is clickbait, you know. But I thought it was funny that you know, they talk about Linus Torvalds joins Linus Sebastian, which I thought was kind of funny. Yes. 2 completely different type of people doing 2 completely different things. The only relation is their first name, and they're both in technology. But although, I mean, you know, Linus Tech Tips, I really like his stuff. He does a good job. What was interesting in this one, you know, I do, you know, we were talking about the other day, don't read the comments, but this was an interesting comment from someone, you know, on this. He's like, well, yeah, but what was your machine before? Right? Was it 5 years old, and so forth? But I don't know. Interesting, you know, some more fodder for the whole AMD versus Intel, right? I mean, you got someone extremely powerful in the PC industry who's like, I'm going all AMD. I like. So that was interesting. I'm actually going to skip the next two. I'm going to talk about those in a moment. Next one. So I thought this was interesting. This might be a very interesting development with Microsoft. So they're going to be they're working on this fluid framework, the JavaScript framework for manipulating Office documents. It's kind of interesting, you know. This really does kind of describe how I feel about it also. Just, what exactly is this? What is it going to do? But this is interesting. I mean, a lot of talk of being able to, manipulate the documents and do collaborations. So no, I'm going to be spending some time in it, which is kind of scary. I'm going to be spending time looking at JavaScript libraries, which not the sort of thing I necessarily want to do. But so for my day job, we do a lot of work with documents, right? We that's what we publish for medical students. So really interested to see what they do with this. Again, another great way of baiting people, .NET developers sideline in favor of JavaScript. I don't think so. I think it's just one way of doing things, which, again, I mean, talking to my Angular guy, he's like, oh, well, this is great for Angular, adding this in here, and of course, Angular is based upon TypeScript, which who wrote TypeScript? Microsoft, right? So it's I don't think it's Microsoft's way of sidelining .NET developers out of 365 development. But that was definitely one of the interesting announcements from last week. Another thing, again, some of these articles are back from Friday because I didn't even stream on Friday. All this was after I streamed anyways. But I actually did enjoy when I saw this. I'm an old-time BASIC developer. I started writing with Microsoft BASIC. Of course, I mean, I was on the Apple BASIC format, but that was way back in 1979. So it's really awesome to see, that they've released the source code for GW BASIC. Which, if you're hitting your history, you had Microsoft BASIC, you had GW BASIC, and you had Quick BASIC, and then Visual BASIC, right? And then .NET and Visual Basic. .NET is still around, well supported, really around for backwards compatibility and more anything else. But this is pretty cool to see that this is released. You can kind of start seeing how things are done. The other thing that really makes this interesting is it's assembly, right? Because that's the way how stuff was done. There was a mention here talking about source code isn't for the faint-hearted. It's an assembly language. Reminder that back in the day of early computing, every byte mattered. Something those who insist on inflicting troubled web pages on. Actually, this is actually a very good point. And the thing is, I mean, sure, this was from 1983. I want to say, 1983, where literally every byte mattered. But I mean, I don't even think 10 years ago we were worried about byte sizes. We don't worry about so much anymore, but maybe we should a little bit more, right? So it's a good reminder of that. But again, just see, or just cool to see that that one of the Microsoft Basics have been open sourced. I think it's pretty darn cool. Not that I did a little bit of assembly way back when, not enough that I even remember it anymore. Still kind of cool. Along kind of along the same lines, so the Register had an article about how Solitaire turned 30, and it also means Windows 3.0 turned 30. So some interesting points about this, right? Think about this. So Windows 3.0 is when Microsoft really started to take off, right, in the enterprise. They were already a development company back then. I mean, most people forget this. Microsoft actually started as a development company, software development company, right? It was BASIC and then a couple other things that they worked on, but mostly BASIC. And then then came MS-DOS very quickly. But it was here. It was and obviously there were already two other versions, right? Windows 1. I don't even know if anyone ever actually used it. I did have a machine running Windows 2. It was pretty crude. It really was just a shell on top of DOS. Windows 3, this was the first true Windows. We don't talk about Windows. Yeah, exactly. But I think I read that I missed the dot. And I'm like, Why don't we talk about Win 10? Win 10 is pretty cool. No, Win 1 was interesting. There really wasn't much to it. I mean, it literally was just a shell. You could do very limited things. Windows 2 is when you start to see what Windows was. You could start doing some dragging and stuff, but it was if I remember right, it was black and white, or monochrome, I should say, or but Windows 3, I mean, this is really the start of Microsoft as we got to know it, right? Not the Microsoft today, because Microsoft today has changed a lot, but definitely the Microsoft we got to know that caused them, that got them all legal trouble and everything. But what I thought was interesting was, so Solitaire turned 30, and it was so funny when I was reading this article. I started reading this article. What it reminded me is, so my wife is from the Philippines, and when she moved here back in '96, she had never used a computer before. She came from a third world country. Computers were more than just a luxury. I mean, it was only things that businesses had, really just the banks and such. And she was having a hard time figuring out how to use a computer, right? Even just using a web browser and everything. And I remember getting her on Solitaire because she knew how to play Solitaire. And I was like, here's a great way to learn how to use the mouse and everything. And it's so funny. I never even realized this, but that apparently was part of the idea of including Solitaire in Windows. It was to introduce concepts such as drag and drop, and such, which I didn't even realize that. But that is the way how my wife learned how to use a computer was Solitaire. Again, just kind of cool to see that all this time along it was it's been this old. The other interesting part, apparently, the author of the program did actually have a boss mode where you could do a hotkey, and it would switch to a bunch of C code. So if a boss came around, but apparently Microsoft made them take that out. So I thought that was funny. I wonder if nowadays if Microsoft would make them take it out, because I mean, probably so. But still funny thought. Along the same lines. Hey, you missed the boss keys. I also miss people having the mirrors on their on their computer so they could see behind them, so they knew when the boss was coming around. So along the lines, so Java's 25. I really want nothing to do with Java. Nothing wrong with it. Just I value my sanity. I'll probably get hate mail for that one. But still really interested to see Java. It's been around for 25 years. It was funny. I was on Kevin Griffin's stream a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about learning Java. Having to learn Java as part of stuff he was doing in college. And of course, I was sitting here. Now, I didn't go to college. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point when you're wearing headphones. But I knew plenty of people that's not the reason why I had the mirrors. And good to see you, Sean. So, I forgot what I was saying about Java. But at any rate, yeah, it's interesting to see it's 25 years old. I was talking about, if I had gone to college, Java still, I would have predated Java. But still, cool to see that. I mean, it definitely spurred a lot of stuff. They kind of have something a little bit wrong. They talked about how other alternative languages, and they say like C#, which was because Sun wouldn't let Microsoft contribute to it. That's not 100% true. That's not exactly the way how that happened. Yes, C# was created because of Java, but not fully because Sun wouldn't let it contribute. It's because Sun didn't like the fact that Microsoft was making Java better on Windows, right? And was adding hooks into it. So, but still, good article, good to understand, to know some of our history out here. Some other good articles. So the effect of GDPR 2 years on. This was an interesting article. So basically, it was published today. I mean, it was now it's more. It's like 5 hours now. Yeah. So there's some talk about how it's 5 years old today. I remember this coming out. I was working with a company that well, most companies nowadays have to be concerned with GDPR in some sense. And what's interesting, reading through this article, they're really talking about how this isn't like bam, all of a sudden your GDPR. It's a continuous process and always having to do things. But then it was interesting. A lot of talks about having to reassess because of COVID. Just how some of the healthcare companies are having to do some things different because they of contact tracing and things that can get in here. So that was interesting. GDPR is definitely was a whole interesting thing. It's definitely made a lot of things different for us. So interesting to see all that. Next, let me actually do that one last. All right. So this was interesting. So now on Bing, apparently, not all questions, because I tried a couple of things, but you can now get yes/no answers on Bing. All right. And so they did an example of like like here they were saying, can dogs eat chocolate? And prior you would get you would get this answer article that related to it. Now you actually get a straight answer. So I thought that's pretty cool. I think this is interesting to see the advancements we're making in machine learning and being able to actually really more into natural language representation in the whole realm. But I find it very interesting, and I'd like to see how we can apply this even more, and more with this. I know ScholarX, we're trying to do more and more with these type of things. I'll be curious to see how this goes. Some other good articles here. So Facebook has decided that so basically they ended up extending how long they're going to do their remote work, basically saying up until the pandemic is done with, we're going to allow you to work from home. But then they're going to extend it past that and say, look, which is a change for Facebook, a change for a lot of Silicon Valley companies. But they're going to say, hey, we're going to allow you to work from home, and wherever that might be. But it could come with a pay cut, which is interesting. And it's interesting. I saw some tweets over the weekend about this announcement, and I gotta admit, I have mixed feelings about this. In some sense, it makes a lot of sense, right? If sure enough, live in a, obviously someone living in Silicon Valley needs to make more just in order to afford a house, because a 1-bedroom house costs like $1 million. Insane, right? But but then someone saying in Boise, Idaho, right? I mean, I'm just picking cities off the top of my head. Obviously the cost of living isn't as high. So, but what I'm curious is how fair will this be, right? And also, I think sometimes cost of living indexes are a little bit skewed, right? And prime example I use, I remember, this is quite a while ago, but I remember, so back in this would have been 2000, yeah, it was 2001. I was working for a company in Boston, and I didn't know it when I was hired, but I later found out that I was being paid less because I was in Louisville, right? And then I was traveling up to Boston, and so a couple things with that, and they were doing, and I grant you, for me, I got a big raise out of it joining the company, so I was happy. I was still happy, anyways. But I do remember, sure enough, I do remember finding out that one of my peers was making quite a bit more than I was, simply because they lived in Boston. Although the funny thing was, really, his cost of living wasn't much different than mine. He lived far enough away that wasn't paying much more in lease payments, or not lease, mortgage payments, and so forth. But then on the flip side, when So that company went through the .com period. I had issues there. I was let go, and looking for a job here in Louisville. And I remember talking to a company and telling them, well, here's what my salary requirements are. And I was just really trying to keep within the salary I was making before. And it was so funny. I got a comment of, well, you're working for a company in Boston. I mean, the cost of living here in Louisville is a whole lot less. I was there like, no, I was being paid Louisville rates. And, just because I'm working for a company in Louisville doesn't mean my mortgage went down, right? So I don't know. This is interesting to see how this works out. Because obviously, a company as big as Facebook, not that they have that many, I don't know how many employees they have, but I mean, obviously they're not the biggest employer in the world, but still it's a high profile company. So I'll be curious to see how this pans out. So that was interesting. Just a fun article here talking about how to pronounce things. It was interesting, and they actually do go through things, of some history, like so iOS. Some of these I never even thought of saying it the other way, because they were what was the other way they were? I don't know. And here they were talking about another way of saying iOS, and or iOS. I would never have thought of that way. So sudo, sure enough, or sudo, I should say, which is pretty much how I thought about it. I don't know, interesting to see, nothing I thought was surprising. Just an interesting article to see them you say like sudo, yeah. Here was the one interesting one I thought, and I learned something new. So talking about SQL, whether it's SQL or SQL, I know I kind of go back and forth, but more anything else I say SQL. What I didn't realize, the language actually originally was called SQL, but there was a trademark conflict, and that's why they changed it to SQL. I never knew that, right? And I mean, when I saw this in here, I actually had to look it up, and sure enough, that was what it was originally called, was SEQL. So that was kind of interesting to see that. So, all right, so the articles I skipped, which, yeah, the more you know, exactly. Because here, I wanted to talk about this for a second, because, this is interesting, and this is something I think we're going to see a little more of. So apparently, I mean, shocker, HP and HPE are in the middle of a lawsuit. I'm kind of curious to see if this also moves over to, I forgot the name of the company now. It was Enterprise. What was Enterprise Services moved off to Perspecta, right? As the government form. The government side have moved over. But so basically, the two companies together are being sued for age violation or age bias. It's interesting, and it does say it in this article. Now, and I mean, I have to be careful what I say. Not that I know anything about this guy's case, and I haven't been with HP for now almost 3 years now. But I saw a lot of those workforce reductions, and sure enough, and there's a little bit mentioned in this article. The biggest problem is when companies do these reductions, especially in HP and HPE, and have been really bad about this. They had very older populations of workforces, and because of that, they were paying more salary. And so, one of the things that they were, they not out and out looking to do, but honestly, we're looking to do is to reduce the cost of producing a product or producing a service. And the way of doing that is getting younger folks because it was cheaper. So I thought it was interesting. What I did find interesting here, so you see it saying HP, HPE. So you had, for those who didn't follow HP throughout all the days, you had HP, right? So I did work for HP. Actually, I became HP because of EDS. They bought EDS. We became part of HP. And then when Meg Whitman came on, one of the things she did kind of early on was split HP into HP, and really it's supposed to be one. It's supposed to be HP Enterprises. Or no, I think we were supposed to say Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Silly. You were not actually supposed to say HPE. Branding, all right. But so again, I find this interesting. I'll be curious to see how far this goes. This could be interesting. The other thing that was interesting to hear, I mean, because they're talking about, I forget where in the article, but basically, so the companies had programs put in place. So if you were, basically, if you were eliminated from a position, you had the opportunity to apply for other positions, and you were preferred. And then, this one guy said he applied for every single job possible, and didn't get any of them. And then talked about, the stinker is after that 60-day period of that preferred employment status, you're apparently no longer eligible for employment ever. No. I thought that was interesting to see that. And again, I mean, this is something we got to be careful about, right? As an industry, we need to be careful about this. Obviously, I mean, I'm getting a little bit older in age, so I'm not worried about where I'm at. We're a small team, anyways, but still, this concerns me, right? This concerns me. I have a lot of people who are friends who work for bigger companies like this, and so I get concerned. So along the same lines, apparently IBM has decided to lay off thousands, right? And basically it boils down to, I think the byline really states it really well. You got a company that supplies the enterprise. Enterprises are shutting down. They're shutting down their projects. I was talking to someone recently. That was exactly the problem they're having. They're still gainfully employed. Everything's working just fine, but they've got no projects. Always provide value. Yeah. No, very true, Sean. I think the hard part, and that's kind of what the article was alluding to, was problem is, as you provide more value, you get better pay. Then sometimes you get shafted because of that. But so this is just interesting to see this. Also interesting, apparently, Hewlett Packard Enterprise is also, which isn't really a surprise. Hewlett Packard Enterprise never was on good footing. And I'd be willing to bet that most of the people being laid off are going to be enterprise services. That was the hardest part about being part of them. No, I agree with you, Sean. I mean, luckily, I mean, I don't work with any of those anymore. But I've worked with plenty that who were literally just waiting for their retirement. That was definitely a problem. And I gotta admit, it can be a problem in the government sector, even worse, because they're kind of encouraged to just stick around till that retirement pay. So again, just interesting to see these big enterprises having more cutoffs. Yeah, exactly. Job versus passion. I don't disagree more. I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree more. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that is a difference. All right. I know several of the people who are on the chat right now. I mean, you all are you're there because of passion more than the job. Right? And it's funny. When I talk to people who are just getting into the industry. I talk a lot about that. You need to have passion for this. We get a lot of people who are going to these boot camps and everything because they see those dollar signs. See, oh wow, they're promising me $50,000 out of here, $60,000 once I graduate. Which one I don't know. Boot camps completely deliver on those promises. And I'm not saying anything against the boot camps. Because I've worked with several that are really good. But I've talked to the kids, and again, to me, kid is anyone who's 5 years younger than I am. I'm almost 50, so 45-year-old is a kid to me. But I'm talking to these folks young in the industry, trying to get into it, and I talk about how passion is so important. and how you need to have passion, how that's one of the more important things. Because otherwise, I mean, here's the honest truth: if you don't have passion in this industry, you're gonna burn yourself, right? It's the only way to truly. Now, I've seen people who have succeeded and who didn't really have the passion, but for the most part, the ones with the passion are the ones who really succeed in this industry. So, all right. So one last article I put up here. Saw this Baller article talking about exciting new features in C# 9, and what I liked about this was a good summary of the article of the thing. Excuse me. So I'll just quickly talk about some of the. This is neat. So target type new, right? So the whole idea of I'll no longer. And here we see we're creating a dictionary properties, and I can just say new. Right? I no longer have to say new dictionary string object. Right? Couple fewer key presses, less syntax. I like these kind of things. I know plenty of people who don't like these kind of changes, and I get that, right? Because obviously now I have to think a little bit more, or maybe I don't have to think a little more. This, to me, this is really, I wouldn't say how it always should have been, but definitely what makes sense. Right? So I like seeing that coming in. That's gonna be a nice thing. This was interesting. Parameter null checking. Although I'm kind of curious from this example how exactly this is working. So basically, it's just talking about adding this exclamation point is gonna do this. But I'm kind of curious, is it actually, and I could go and try this, but is it going to actually, yeah, I agree with you, Chris, talking about the readability when you don't have any sort of IntelliSense. I agree with you completely, right? Because, and that's why some of the things, there are some changes, like in C# 8, that I debate whether to use, like the new using syntax. How I don't have to use the opening and closing brackets, and I like that. But at the same rate, I like the old way because I knew where that using statement closed. I knew when it was going to, when I supposedly, I mean, grant you, it's up to the garbage collector and everything, but when it gets exposed and all that type of stuff. But I'll say for that, this one right here, definitely, I think adds to readability. Because who needs this extra dictionary thing? I mean, all you were doing was copying over. I grant you, Visual Studio took care of it. So I think that's new. On that argument, if I'm curious, is it actually doing throwing the new argument null exception? I don't know if it's actually doing it. If that is doing that, I will say this will be a shift, right? And this talks about the readability. Because this is definitely an interesting. Yeah, me too. I've started doing var more often, but I gotta admit it's not natural to me. Again, I'm a VB programmer, so the new is more what I grew up doing. So yeah, so I'm curious to see this parameter null checking. That could be kind of interesting. I do think this is a little. Honestly, at first a little bit harder to read, but I do like the fact it's less code. Right, I like that. So pattern matching improvements. So here, and someone tweeted this, so I'm not. This is not an original thought, but I laughed when I saw this. This whole not pattern. So funny. As a VB developer from way back when, I remember hearing, "Oh my goodness, why do you have not?" Right, that's silly. That's silliness. And now look at the awesome new feature in C# 9 is we're going to be able to have not. So I thought that was kind of funny. I do like this. It's funny, here's the interesting part. I just talked about like this one here is less typing. This one here actually would be more typing. But I actually think this is a little more readable than a exclamation equals. Although I would never tell anyone, oh, you need to change this. But I do like this. And again, it's funny. One of the arguments I always heard against the C# versus VB debate was VB was too verbose. And that's basically what we're getting right here. We're getting back to verbose, which I thought was it. here's where we're really seeing some more patterns. Being better, being able to do the better pattern matching, all these different checks, which is great to see. So record with expression. So these are really, really neat. And this is actually a very good explanation of this. So here you see where this guy's created a point class, right? So just represent two coordinates within a point, with quality checks and hash codes and deconstructs. Also, a lot of times we don't necessarily do all this, right? But maybe you need to, right? I mean, like here, you would want to do this, right? Check the such. Is interesting. Now we can go to this. I gotta admit, I like this a lot. Verbosity is ceremonial. Yeah, I agree. But so on the record thing, this is really neat. Right now, I think would actually eliminate some of my tuple use. I end up using tuples because I just want to return something very easy, and sometimes I have to just have to use tuples. And tuples are great. The only thing I don't like about tuples is it's foo.item 1, foo.item 2, foo.item 3, which to me makes the code a little bit harder to read, right? I mean, exactly what we're talking about here in the chat. As opposed to something like here, if I can have point, and I can have this right here with X, it's Y. I think that's really cool. You can. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know you can name in tuples now. Well, I will have to look that up because that's, like I said, it's been one of my came with 7.3. Okay, I definitely missed that announcement. I will definitely have to look that up because, like I said, it's been my complaint about tuples. Just that whole item 1, item 2 thing, Well, cool. Well, there you go. I've now learned 2 things today. I learned that SQL was SQL, and that you can name in tuples, which is cool. So biggest thing that I think here, that we need to make sure we understand is that these records with expressions, they are immutable, right? So I can definitely see some people getting memory trouble with that, not keeping that in thought. But that was really good. Some other things in here, target type conditionals. I like this in the sense, basically what we're talking about. Right now this doesn't work because it doesn't know how to explicitly cast to stream. Nothing's immutable if you try hard enough. Oh. Okay, there we go. I was reading commented, actually. Freestyle Coder's comment at first was thought to be, that was interesting. Apparently, that try hard enough was potentially dangerous. Actually, I can see why, though. But yeah. So yeah, this is nice. Basically allow me to not have to explicitly cast things. That'll be good. The covariant return, I mean, that's really neat. The top level statements. I forgot what this was about. Oh yeah, being able to do this. I don't know. I think I maybe like the old version better. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, chat, especially because I guess people, I definitely value your opinions. I mean, what do you think? This whole idea of having our program class, void main, or just using system and console statements. Didn't once put it in the namespace. Yeah, I don't know. I find this, like I said, I find this one interesting. Just because I don't know if I didn't notice it was getting rid of main. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I gotta say, I don't think I like this either. Although I gotta tell you, if I'm just putting up a simple console app to test something out real quickly, you know, this is nice. All right, but it's the same way. I don't do all this. Right? I create console app. There you go. It's created for me. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I'll admit, I wonder, and I mean, you know, Microsoft made this announcement several times, right? I mean, they are behind a couple things, because I mean, you know, the quarantine work is not the same thing as remote work. You know, I've said that several times on the stream before. C# Interactive, yeah, exactly. I don't know. I did not. I definitely didn't notice this before, but I don't know if I like that. So I do wonder if this would be like one of the last things that stay in this version. And again, nothing says you can't do this, right? So it's just adding things on. But you know, I tell you what worries me about stuff like this is, you know, you can still do both ways and both still work. But you know, you get some hot shot who wants to do it like this because that's the new hotness, and you know, in all honesty, I think you're losing some context here. So, all right, well, so that was all the news I thought. I mean, of course, I've now been going on for 50 minutes, mostly talking about this, but that's good. I mean, there's just a lot of news that I missed Friday. I don't have to end at 1 o'clock because it is a holiday, so that's good. Let's move over to what else I want to work on. Let me change a setting here real quick. Well, maybe I won't change it. All right, it's fine. So I started working on redoing my setup, and you know, so I'm gonna work through that throughout the rest of the stream. You know, just trying and basically getting StreamElements working, getting our overlay in there, and all that good stuff. So those who haven't seen StreamElements before, if we go here, I mean, StreamElements, I mean, it's very similar to Streamlabs, but some differences, right? That's a good way of describing it. I gotta admit, I actually like the interface better. Right? It gets me right into the heart of things. A little bit easier to find things, I think. Of course, now everyone's seeing all my stats, which no big deal. But you know, we can start seeing things right away. There's also some nice features in here. So they add merch, which is in beta. But so now, I mean, sure enough, I was fooling around with this yesterday. You know, so I can, you know, I can actually have merchandise up there. You can get T-shirts with the Learn Code logos and stuff. Yes, the chatbot is really nice. I'm actually starting to use the chatbot here, and in the middle of switching it all over. I do like the chatbot better than the Streamlabs chatbot. That I definitely have come to realize. I need to turn my music back on. There we go. Yeah, the timers are also really nice. So you can do things, you know, especially if you want to do, you know, rewards or loyalty stuff of, you know, which they have loyalty built in here also, which is especially great for non-affiliates, you know, below, you know, or below affiliate levels, because you can get that extra. It is interesting, you know. One of the things they do need to fix. This is actually supposed to be my right up here. Is supposed to be my my logo, my profile picture. I changed it, and apparently it hasn't picked it up yet, which is kind of interesting. I'm just curious if I do it. Maybe do a hard refresh on that. If nope, still doesn't pick it up. But all right, so we're gonna start finishing up. So the other thing about StreamElements, I gotta admit, I was thinking some more about this. I sort of like what they're doing, and I sort of don't like what they're doing. But they have their overlays. All right, and I have, you know, actually I've started because I was fooling with some stuff. But they, they have their overlays. You can design them completely in here, and then you just do a browser source in OBS. And I think that's really neat, right? Especially once I start traveling again, right? Because I plan on continue to do streaming while I'm on the road, and so it'd be nice that if I make updates, I make it in one place. Now, what I was realizing this morning, don't really like it, but don't have time to make custom things either. Yeah, exactly. One is, again, they've done a lot of good work for you, and they're free, right? I mean, which is one of the things. They grant you StreamElements. Some of the, it's interesting. They're definitely pushing more and more using the pay-for features. StreamElements is quote unquote completely free, and I say quote unquote because like the merch, right? They're taking a cut, right? Which fair enough, right? That makes sense. But it's interesting, like the tipping in here. Apparently, they're not taking a cut, which I thought that was interesting. So along with it, I mean, one of the things that they do that apparently others don't do so well, excuse me, is the chargebacks. So apparently, this is a big problem on Twitch with some of the bigger folks. They'll set up tipping, people tip, and then apparently, like right before the chargeback period ends, people will do a chargeback. So they got their benefits of whatever they got out of that tip, or giving the bits or what have you. And, chargebacks are expensive. Apparently, in StreamElements, they've done some more protections. And you actually don't get chargebacks because they're doing more protection. So, all right, let's start doing this. I'm actually just go ahead and delete these because, like I say, these I was just fooling with. Excuse me. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete those. And we're going to start moving over our new stuff. So, and a lot of this really is me. I'm still playing with this. So a lot of this will be me going through this. But what I do plan on doing is I was talking about this Saturday. I actually want to make. I'm going to be doing YouTube videos also. I'm not going to stream on YouTube. I'm going to do YouTube videos, so short form videos, which I plan on doing. Development topics. But I want to do a series on how to start live coding. I mean, I've only been doing it for. This is now 4 weeks. It's my 4th week doing it. So I'm no expert by any means. I got Freestyle Coder here who's been doing it for quite a while. But I learned a lot, and I spent a lot. I've been doing it for 4 weeks, but I spent like 4 months researching it. Before I really went full on into it. And one of the things there's a lot of great videos. Helping out Sean. There you go. I like it. But I was gonna say, there's a lot of videos which I watch a ton of videos on YouTube, and LARP and everything. But they're all geared towards gaming, which is great. But what about the people who are doing live coding? We're doing things a little bit simpler, a little bit easier. So like I said, I definitely want to do a series of notifications there. Sorry about that. So let's go get started. So sure enough, we could start picking off of what our resolution is. You can see you can do your settings here. Keep in mind at 1080. That is how I broadcast, or how my recording resolution's at. I then downcast it down to 720 to make it a little bit easier for folks. So whatever device you're using that works well. So we'll do the 1080, and it really we'll start off with. Let's just start with our simple screens of our getting started. Or actually, let's do our stream starting. So I'm just going to add a widget, and I mean I have looked at this a little bit. We're going to start off with here we go, static custom, and we're actually going to do a video because I have a video for this. Excuse me. So I'm going to go in here, and then now, so let's see here. I want to change video and go to upload. Oh, I'm already in there. Let me bring up my. Should have opened this before the stream. In File Explorer, let me get this opened up. Right place. So we're going to do our starting set. We're going to move that over. There, we've got that. So you know, you can see. You actually don't see it very well in that. Let's see how this works when we do this. All right, we'll submit that. There you go. So you see it better once it's there. And then now we can change this. Here's what those do. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Not really what I'm going to do. Here's where I want to go. So we're going to make this 1920 by 1080. There we go. Now we see it. And there we go. We've got our starting student screen, which really is most everything I need to do. Again, the nice part is you know, this will be a browser source that I can then use within StreamElements, or sorry, within OBS. So I've got this. Now the other things I want to add in here, I do want to still have alerts. So if people are doing, yeah, I still want to have alerts. So if people follow or eventually once I become affiliate, you know, subscribe, you know, they can see that on here. So let's we've got those on here. Sorry. Now let's go ahead and add another layer, and here, and we're going to alerts. And now we can see we have several different types of alerts. So we have an alert box. Merchandise is a separate one. We'll get back to that. You know, a hype cup, pathogen, which basically will show the quotes from the stream. Store redemptions. Not really sure what's the difference between that one and merchandise redemptions. Merchandise alert box. Quite a few things. That is the same thing. Box for your live stream. Box alert. Awesome, yeah. Thanks for joining us, Freestyle Coder. I really appreciate it. Sure enough, you know, I want to give a quick shout out, if I can type, to didn't like my command. My shout out command is not working now. Well, definitely check out Freestyle Coder. Yeah, he does a really good job. He's going to be streaming. Yeah, he streams at 1 o'clock Central Time today, and his will be more code focused, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, I'm doing a setup on my stream, but definitely a good person to check out. All right. Excuse me. So what do I want to look at? All right. So it's interesting. There's definitely multiple things for the same thing. I mean, and they even call it the same thing. I'm just kind of curious. Now I'm curious if I add that one in. Order payment alerts, play during other alerts. All right, I'm just trying to see if I can see a difference between these two. Oh, there's definitely a difference. See the size difference. Huh. All right. Well, I'm not putting that on here right now. So let's go ahead. Hit the delete key. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and add alerts, and we're going to do alert box. There we go. We've got this in here. And you can see. So which alerts do we want to do? Follower, subscriber, tip, cheer, host, raid, purchase alert. So keep the purchase off of here because we're gonna. I am going to use. I'm going to use a different alert for purchases. Then let's see what goes on. We definitely want to change this because I have my own things I want to hear. So let's set our image and we're upload over to my alerts. I think I'm doing cheer. There, we'll add that. It's not allowing me to do. Well, I'm going to delete it. It's not allowing me to. Oh, can you only do images? Oh, set image. I didn't hit the right thing. Okay. And let me make sure. I am doing a cheer, right? Oh, this is a follow alert. Okay, so I didn't upload it. Change video. There we go. Now, do the follower. So, we'll bring down our follower. There we go. Now we have the follower come up. Volume control. That's good. Those should be good. I actually don't have a sound yet. I need to find a sound. Let's actually, for now, put the sound I'm using today. I do want to find some better sounds, but right now I could do here. Not that you all can't see what I'm doing right now. Oh, I mean, just so everyone sees what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find my. There we go. That's what I was trying to find. And then we'll upload sound. I heard someone was curious what was going on in my office. All right, there we go. So now we have that. Sure enough, let's mute that for a second. And I submitted it. I meant to. It's just the old Windows Tada. Like I said, I'm gonna change it later on, but for now we'll keep it like that. All right, so there's that. And sure enough, if I do this now, you can emulate it right in here. Preview on live stream. Let's uncheck that just in case. Not that it really matters. I'm working on it at the same time. So that was a follower event. There we go, we can see it. It's interesting. I'd like to see if I can move that text. I apologize for the dog barking in the background. Okay, so here's where we could probably change that. I want to do that. Now let's see what we've got. Oh, did it even bother changing? Again, I apologize for the dog in the background. You have it. That's text over image. I didn't see any text. I wonder. Go to text settings. Blue, we should be seeing that. Oh, that's the text shadow. Okay, yeah. Here. So I'm a little bit confused. Just copying this before I change settings that hurt me later on. Say I was. I'm looking. Moment. I'm gonna do that just so I don't hear this die every time I'm just playing with this. Why? Do it like that. Now you're seeing it below. And now I should show it like that. I think it's the same. This should be what I want. Text over image. That says I'm not seeing the text. Patient. Gotta be something I'm missing here. And yeah, I mean, you know, you could also go into there. I'm well, if I was an expert at CSS, I could probably make the right changes. Come on, there's got to be. I mean, this has got to be working. This is silly. Oh, turn that button. Okay. Text settings. It's cool. You can change your fonts. Rarely enable custom font. Look at that in a moment. Once I figure the rest of this out. All right, let's just do this. Let's see if I'm having. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let's do this. Start over. We didn't get very far anyways. Go ahead and add Bart. Let's stick, okay, let's do this. Let's turn that back on. So, not making any changes, it's got like that. All right. So now, and they've got column with row, text over image. That's really what I want. Even here, you don't see it. wonder if this is a bug with their stuff. You should be seeing like the Celia is now following. Yeah, do you not also see like the Celia is now following? Yeah, and basically, when I'm doing text over text over image, apparently that's not working. So let's see if we can find anything. Let's see here. StreamElements, alert box, text over image. Oh. And how to move your alert text up, down, left, or right. You rotate the text. I mean, maybe this will help me out. We're enabling. Okay, I come back to that article. I mean, I don't mind if I gotta change the CSS. It'd be nice if apparently someone's got a request to be more positioning. And to stream, yeah, let's start with StreamElements. That doesn't help. I might just go back to that article that basically manipulates the CSS. Interesting is so many things are going to Streamlabs. Again, Streamlabs is the bigger of all these. All right, let's go. Oh, even this is Streamlabs. 7.6. Just curious what, so. Like in this one, granted this is Streamlabs, so not sort of the same thing. We did, Alright, so let's take a look at this. Again, we see nothing. Let's do like that. There, we can see that now. I wonder, now go into the CSS editor. Probably awesome text. Not doing any positioning yet. I'm just curious. What if I adding top? Maybe I want to add adding bottom. Throw out a number. I'm definitely not a CSS whiz. Not enough to be dangerous. Did it even make any difference? I didn't see any difference whatsoever. Welcome to Chad doesn't know anything about CSS, is trying to fool with CSS. It's kind of funny that all of a sudden my image changed. I am doing followers, right? Yeah, follower alerts. Follower. Yeah, mark that. I admit that's what's in my head. Sure enough, I might just just get to a certain point here and just say, okay, it works for now, and then I'll make it better once I get someone like Martine. For those who don't know, Martine is Martine Dowden, who's an amazing front-end developer. Literally has wrote a book about CSS. Actually, they've got a new book coming out. Architects in CSS. Hence, he literally written a book about it. I haven't read this yet, but I have read this book. I'll say this for those curious. Check out the what's the section called? I'm drawing a blank name of the section. Say the acknowledgements. This is what I was looking for. Yeah, can't say how touched I was. There you go. There's the links. I was showing up on Amazon. But yeah, I love this. I didn't even know they were doing this. And it's interesting. I rarely even read the acknowledgements, but again, these were two folks who I know very well, and that was mentioned in their acknowledgement. I was really touched by that. So, which is why I made them sign my book, because I was like, this is a book that I will keep for forever. All right. So back to this. Oh, you know what I wonder? Let's do something. Let's delete this again. Start over. I didn't really. Let me. Element box. Go with this. Let me this time set the image. This time I'm doing image, not. Let's see if this does it differently with an image instead of a video. Upload. Now let's upload that. Like that. Now if we emulate this like that, it's squished, which that could be a problem. But I'm actually now, I just want to see something. If I do that now. No, so it's not the difference between an image and a video. There is definitely something with it's not sending right. Do this. Once I can never look on several things. We go to StreamElements, do alert text position. Let's see if I can type. Anything. I don't know. I gotta admit, I don't do Discord very often, so I don't know how well the search is in here. Alert, I should definitely get my thing, right? Okay, here we go. Of course, no responses. Check your line height. Your line height. Ooh. That, I wonder if that will make. All right, let's make sure. Okay, my lower image. This shouldn't, and it doesn't show all here. Let's back to text settings and advance of this. Let's just set it to 0 to start off with. Let's see what that is. Oh, look, I see it right there. 0, 50. And it's probably hard to see, but very faintly you can see it in here. And 50 is 2. Let's see what that does. There we go. That's more. Now, granted, it's white over white. I need to fix that. But that's more what we're looking for. It's interesting. Just notice that. Seems like it hides the thing. Yeah, interesting that it doesn't hide. It could hide the text before it hides the. Well, no, I get it. Never mind. It's because my animation. I wonder if there's a way I could change that too. That's a small issue, really, compared to everything else. Interesting. Alert duration 10 seconds. Now, what I'm curious. Okay, I was looking to see how long my alert is. Ignore that it's jaggedy in here. It's just the format shows up that way. But it is a 10-second video, so it should be 10 seconds. All right, I just want to see. I wonder, out of curiosity, let's say I do it for 7. I think this is not going to do it. Yeah, that's right. All right, so there. So now we got the text right. And I just now, I mean, again, it's probably very hard to see on the stream, but if you look closely, you can actually see the text right there. But it does actually show it. Sure enough, when we started, it was basically off the screen, which was the problem. Problem if I moved the alert box down here, I probably would have saw it to begin with. All right, cool. So now, let's see what else we can change here. So we got the volume. To my ta-da, just because I'm making it somewhat unique. Well, again, like I said, I want to find some new sound effects. I have not even started to look. I want to find some new effects. All right, so that looks good there. I'm good with all those settings. Blah is not following. Although I might change that. Okay. Variations, if you have multiple variations. I'm not worried about text to look at. Actually, before we look at text settings, let's look at settings. Let's see what this. Enter. Oh, well, there we go. say I delay this by 2 seconds. Nope, that wasn't what I wanted. Here's one. Text animation settings. Now that's coming in and coming out. Oh, here we go. Text appear. There we go. How many seconds wait for showing the text? Wow, we can set this extremely deep. Let's go back to that video. Again, ignore the fact that it's pixelated. Oh, right at 1 second. You know, and this is a general complaint. You know, the whole have a need. Let me enter in the text, right? Because sometimes these are in the deal. Let's see if we have it at 0.9 seconds. I'll see that again. Okay. It's just, again, it's showing it there, but I think it's just because I'm in a preview mode. I think when we do it for real, it doesn't show that. Okay, so there, that seemed to kind of work. Okay, so text disappearance offset. Again, looking at this video, how did I close it? So when does this? Basically about a second on each. So let's go ahead and go back if we there. Now we'll emulate that. Still need to fix the text color. There we go. That works well. Actually, it could probably a little bit longer, or do it like that and see what happens. That's actually, oh no, I'm going to change the duration, but that won't make sense because it is what it is. Okay, yeah, that seemed to work well. All right, cool. So now I've got those in. Now let's go to text setting. Go back to text. So here's what I'm curious. So one of the things I worked on Saturday is I have a style sheet set up for tailoring code. I didn't realize I went to Creative Cloud. Thought I opened up Adobe or Acrobat. So let me. What else I've got on here? So let me be careful what I open up on here. So sure enough, I did create a style sheet for tailoring code. So you can see our logo, our alter tagline. So now I'm opening it up because here's got my fonts that I'm picking things as. So headline font, the body fonts, and then my colors. All right, along with so I've got primary colors with alternates, and I have my accent colors, and I have my text color, which I really do like the name of my text color, heavy metal. I think that works. So let's go ahead and Move it over here, so I just want it for reference. I'm curious. So you can enable custom font, because I'm gonna assume it doesn't have this. Let's just see. That is not the font I'm looking for. I'm just curious what we do here. How does this work? Yeah, which is fine. Let's just pick a font we like. Actually, I wasn't too bad with that font. That one's not too bad either. The Orienta. I always do Paprika. That's always a fun font to use. And I'm joking. Actually, they have quite a few fonts in here. I'm actually surprised the number of fonts they listed in here. Look over Southern real quick. Good point. The none need to. Oh, that's not. Okay, they don't have Calvary. All right, I'm just gonna. I'll just stick with that. I'm good with that. So. The color, obviously that's not going to work very well because you can't see it. And I just stick with my RGB numbers. So sure enough, I'm going to stick with my, at least for the moment, I'm going to stick with my normal text color. That would be 47, 50, 46. Okay. Now we have that color set. You know, I almost wonder if I might do that as a secondary text. Let's see what it would be. That's my primary text color. Let me do 112, 15, 114. Kind of like that a little bit. It gives me a little bit of distinction between the new follower text. So, all right, there we go. Now there's that. The size looks fine. Letter spacing, word spacing, that's all good. Center is good. Bold, good. Text shadow, good. A highlight. We'll highlight this in my standard color. 58 to 11, 90. You know, actually, I don't see that as well. Also weird. It's a weird. These are just, you know, these are people. Oh, maybe let's look at a couple things. Let's look. Go back to here. Back to text. How that go. Let's just try. First, let's try my dark primary color. So 107, 165, 57. That looks like that better. But now, what I want to try. Let's just keep on closing it. Pressing. It wasn't doing that earlier. Now it's closing it. Let's text settings. Let's try. Try that color. Oh, that's why, because I'm clicking there. All right. Let's see what. Yeah, I think I actually like that better. Actually stands out a little bit better that way. All right, so there we go. I think that works well for that. I think it's centered nicely. So, you know, what's interesting, that's cool. Now, you know, curious about, let me go back to, it's interesting. I have to do this, I think, for every single one. Say all those settings. It's interesting. Okay. So, write down my settings again. So in here, we did text server image. I can remember that. Let's see, do text settings. Just copy that so it's easier to put it in here. This. Because at least for now, I am going to, like I said, I'm going to change the sound effects. So they are all unique. But at least for now, the other looks and appearance are going to be the same thing, just different text on it. All right, so oh, I wanted to go into. I should look at that. Should roll. Need to go in advance, and then the top margin. 125. Writing it in a notepad, so I have that here in a moment. It's actually looking one, I think. So you got a couple different. Curious what the. Oh, it's going to balance. Oosh. That. Pulses. We're starting with rubber band. Do. Oh, that's not what I expected it was going to do, but that's interesting. Well, it's a da, which is the name of my sound. I kind of like that, actually. Doing the wave. Wiggle. Wait. There's a wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wobble. It's like it's drunk. Goodness, I don't like that. Last one. Alright. I don't like that because, I mean, that makes it hard to read the person, as far as I'm concerned. I actually like. Oh, now I see it again. I don't like it. Curiosity of the Nun. Text. Actually, let's go back to the bounce. Or not the bounce. Go to pulse. There we go. That's good. Now, one last thing I want to try. Actually, I want to. So our text does. Where is that? Here we go. So name is following. What if we could say, thank you. Let's copy this. Thank you for the follow. Curious what this would look like. Actually, a little too big. All right. Okay. So that does this. These other ones should be quicker now. So we'll change video. Upload. And what am I doing? Subscriber. Here. Let's double click on it. Subscriber. Actually, I do wonder. It's just it. I wonder. Let me overlay session there. Save this. Starting soon. I don't have that image in there right now. I'm actually curious. Can I? It's possible to import. I was looking to see if I could just import all my images at one time, but apparently not. Not so far. All right, go back to edit, and sure enough, let me do one other quick thing. I need to go. I just got a package at my door. Let me. All right, apologize for that quick interruption. Funny part was, my family locked me in my room. So the door to my office actually does lock from the other side. And apparently they decided to lock my door, which was fun. Luckily, I've got the sliding glass door behind me, so I was able to go out that, go all the way around. And well, again, luckily we've got we've got the electronic bolts. I didn't need the key up front. All right, so we were on here. We were on these subscriber alerts. Again, not that you can't subscribe to me yet because I'm not an affiliate. I guess I need 3 more. I think I need 5 more. That number, I don't know if that number's right. Palinbot's following. Thank you, Palinbot, for following. Just curious here. Just looking at my real quick. Yeah, I could say somehow the Streamlabs number is off. All right. Well, anyway, so 4 more followers, and then I get my 50. All right. So interesting, Palin bot. You get to a legit and distinct follower here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all right. I know who the Palin bot is. Actually, the funny part is I definitely nobody you know. But maybe I don't know who Palin bot is. My part is I actually haven't. I need to create a bot address for Taylor and Kurt. I haven't created it yet. I need to do that as part of my setup for StreamElements. All right, so we were doing new subscriber, so now we can, so we got the video, change that to that, leave that alone. With variation setting below. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna look at that here in a second. Talking about, so saying this only applies to those, doesn't apply to those who are gifted, right? So those new to Twitch, I mean, one of the things one of the things that you could do is you can buy your own subscription, or you can actually gift subscription, which you pay for the subscription for someone else. I gotta admit, I have a couple of gift subscription right now, and which is really nice. I mean, just it's another way for that person to give back to the streamer, and get something to someone who's not subscribing at the moment. So, all right, what was I going to say with this? What I wanted to do, we want to go into text settings and change color to here, and this one, change this to our fountain blue, and then advanced, change our top margin to 5. Now emulate that. There you go. See that Tiny has just subscribed. You know what? I almost wonder. I wonder if I maybe move that down just a, it is actually pretty darn centered, right? I almost wonder. Go back to here. What if I move this 135? Oh, yeah, I gotta figure out why bots should be fine, or emo should be fine. I need to figure out what I've got something wrong. Actually, why don't I turn Nightbot off? There we go. Because I've got other bots. I got this StreamElements bot running. Nightbot's catching some things like those emotes that it should be allowing for. So, all right, gift several subs and cheers. They have a hype train. Oh yes. So sure enough, I was watching Harris Heller's stream like a week ago. I mean, again, if we go in here, so it says Nightbot isn't a moderator. So why is Nightbot still? All right, I gotta figure out. Still, well here, no. Sure enough, yeah, like I was in here. I didn't mean to go into this thing. You could see like I was gifted a sub, and sure enough, they Harris Heller definitely is real big about his he talks a lot about his hype train, everything. And I mean, you look at, you'll see here. I mean, there's just shy of 1,000 people watching them. So. You'll see the chat. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I've got some. I've definitely got some. I say, oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. Well, I need to fool around with in Twitch. If we go to creator dashboard, content, preferences, moderation. Yeah, I do have this. I had set pretty high. Wonder, no, that shouldn't be disallowing emotes. Because I do have this set pretty high, for obvious reasons. I don't want people to be. That's not it. Oh, definitely. I do have it. I have a list of things. That's one of the things I've got on my list of things I need to look at. All right, I was looking at this. I moved thing down a little bit. Oh, I did a follower. Let me do the subscriber. It looks better for this, but I don't like the off-center part. So I'll go back to my 125. All right. So that's all good. So there's my subscriber. I'm curious. Let's go to this variations. I'm just curious what this is doing. Go to variation settings. So now, when 2 months subscribed is at least 1 month subscribed is at least 2. Subscriber gift. Variations of gift. I mean, oh. Of course, I'm clicking the plays and. I need to make. I'll make these changes later. I'm gonna leave these right now as is. I'll even leave the alert. I mean, again, no one can subscribe to me right now, so I don't spend a whole lot of time on subscriber alerts. But definitely, sorry, write that. That was one of my notes here. Okay. Now we're on a tip alert. So if someone's nice enough to tip. All right. Upload. Let's see if this time if I can upload multiple at the same time. So selecting these different here. There we go. A little bit nicer that way. All right, so this is a tip. So now we go to videos and we do. All right. Oh, there it is. Tipper. And then everything else will be the settings we've done. Yeah, so far. Text settings. There's this. That. My top margin. I'll think this is working. Tip event. That's interesting. Oh, I need to change back in here. There we go. Now if we emulate that, there we go. That's great. I'm gonna leave it just like that. I definitely want to change these sound effects. I mean, that should be, something like a cash register. right? You know, just something a little bit fun, right? So that's alert. We do a cheer. Video. Cheer. And over. Oh, I know what I didn't change in the other settings. Oh wow. Here you even have a whole lot of other settings in here. Okay, we're just gonna get the defaults set up here. Okay, so really instead of subscriber alerts, I need alert variations. Which now makes sense. I remember again talking about Harris Heller, like when he got a level 3 subscription. I mean, it was a big dragon. Level 2 was a smaller one. Yeah, so it's it all makes sense. All right. Text settings. Set these in here. Advanced 25. And now I'll do it for that one. I'll come back to that in a second. But I wanted to do in the follower alert. The other things I changed, animation setting. So we made it 0.9 and 6. You do the same things for the setting. Here's like I was talking about. I wish I could just type this in. Well, that one's not too bad. Some of those slider bars are really bad. They're not that easy to control. I mean, here you see I'm scrolling past it. Now on cheer, whoops. Here's where we're at, was cheer amount. That change. Validate this. Cheer event. We'll do a that must be one of the variations. What are these variations set up? What did I do the first time that I... Okay, if I just do 50, if I do $10, it's weird. All right, like I said, I wrote down to update those. What I want to do though, yeah, no, look, I'm doing a cheer event. I definitely have name cheered X amount. Cheer event. Okay, I'm not. Something's not right with the cheers. Again, that's not important today. Can't cheer me yet, anyways. All right. At least get these other ones that. All right. Change video and post. No, this was a post. Post. Hosted by somebody. I didn't know I was a cheerleader. Many people call me a big cheerleader for Microsoft. All right. Excuse me. Ooh, a little bit of water didn't go down right quick. All right. Let's get these cheers done. These are taking longer than I was. Six, 9, 7. Post. Why? Now, well, that's interesting. I must have gone the wrong thing the first time. That doesn't. That definitely does not fit. I've hit it twice. It's text is too big, but it is wrapping at a certain point. There we go. That works. So can we another? This is a little bit finicky. Post. Not that I necessarily need to change the text. That's what I was thinking first, but it is wrapping. I mean, I could maybe make it a little smaller, but no, that's not going to fix the problem. I need to figure out. It'd be nice to know where does it wrap. Perform. Not what I need. Let's find line height, letter spacing, word spacing, text stroke, shadow, highlight. This is interesting. We're right a minimum. Oh, no, okay. You have to. Oh, okay. I could have in here only show you. I don't want you. I don't care about you guys giving me 2 viewers. You're giving me 100 viewers, then I want to know it. I think that's kind of rude. Maybe if you're a big time streamer, maybe that makes sense, but otherwise. So yeah, I can't find a way. Let's see if I look at this S in here. Oh, that's new. Curious. You see in here. Oh, no. They weren't wrapping. It's because they do this on purpose. Okay. Well, okay, so now I'm just again learning some more about this thing. Is there a line breaking? That's you. There is. I see. Now you see where it's wrapping. So what if... Yeah. Okay, although, I mean, that's still... Of course, now I'm going to do it, I need to move it up. But yeah, that will work better. I think that'll work fine. So now, so here you can see we need to move this up. Maybe 110. Yeah, maybe move it up to 105. Let's see if it does. Yeah, that should do it. All right. And again, just proves the point of why testing is so important. All right, so that was a host. Now we can do our raids. Video, raid. And that. Settings. Colors. Again, I need to I've said it several times. I want to change these sound effects instead of just a default. Like in the raid, I want like an arrow. All right. Animation settings. 6. This out. Or 9. Put a breakpoint. So yeah, that's raid. And then like we did another one. Back up. Validate that. That was a two. Aid. There we go. There we go. Cool. All right. So what? I'm trying to. What's the difference between purchase? Well, it looks like the same kind of animation. I actually was going to keep this one, like how they've done it. You can sort of see it. It's all right. Just see. Search event. So it's not that one. Item redemption. I can't seem to. Gotta be something. Search event. Forward men. That's not. I'm not crazy yet. Does a tip event, driver event, water event. All right, so can't seem to. This is actually kind of a neat little animation they got. You know. All right. Well, anyway, we've got all those. That's what we're looking for. Set up. I need to cool with the alert variations. The more I think I need to think about them a little bit more. Now let's go back. We've got that set up now. If we took away our green look here, which are starting soon. Position 20 by 80. Go. Center just goes. There's really no. I mean, kind of neat. You can set the opacity. All right, that's kind of neat. That I actually like that. Not for this, but gives you some thoughts you can do elsewise. Now, got that. Of course, you know, if I was to do an event at the moment, you can hear it, but you can't see it. I'll fix that. So what we do is drag these. There we go. Now the alert's in top. And let's see. Maybe move it here in the corner. That seems to work like I thought. Curious. Do a alt. Boom. Leave all those. Here I want to do. I don't know, alert box. Should be well here. In case it screws anything up with this, and now if we were to create do it there, like that. There we go. All right. So those will come up there. That's good. Now I'm just curious. They had a different alert. They have two merchandise alert boxes. I'm just curious. There we go. So interesting. Apparently, I guess it works there, but not on the others. So I want to just see something. Put that there. Ignore where it's at the moment. And we'll do other alert here. Alerts. Or payment alert. That did not fire off that, or let's finish, see if curious if that. Just trying to figure out what the difference is there. Okay. I definitely have to figure them out. All right, so let's go back. Let's go ahead and add our. I'm going to actually buy some merchandise, which on one I can't figure that one out. Actually, I'm just curious. Oops. Back to that one. Yeah, there it should be going. Got some stuff set up. All right. go ahead and add this one in here. And let's just see their settings in here. So, like I said, I think that's kind of cool. It's definitely different than everything else, but I think, you know, that one I think should be, I think that's nice to have that separately. Variation, that's good. Variation, here's some variation, or no variation. Now, if I was to emulate this, see what it looks like. See, like that. Other than, okay, you know, I'm gonna move this up. I can't move it up much. Right, even doing that might have screwed. No, right. Yeah. That. And then now we'll have to change text settings. Make the colors consistent with the others. We'll, I want to have the information like that. I was curious what it would look like this. And I like the other. Oh. All right, that works. Here's its. I swore it was in. I'm gonna get back to default rule. Back to this one. Change my here. Change my text setting. Back to the colors. There. Here. Here. That works. Actually, now I'm just being a stickler. Come on. Settings. Advanced. There, I got better. Whoa. That'll work. All right, cool. So we've got all that going. And that's, I think that's really about it. Let's go back here. Let's go ahead and turn this off because I don't even know what it's doing. Doesn't seem to be able to trigger it. I think that's really all we want on here. Again, this is the starting screen. Come on, there we go. I don't need my chat in here right now, which could actually be kind of neat to have the chat going because people could be up chatting before. So you can see you can even put labels in here, which is nice. You can have engagements. I do want to look at giveaways because I want to be able to give away Copalooza tickets. to watch my stuff. You know, you'll be able to get better chances for the Palooza tickets. All right, that does it. So now I can save this. And just to get more to the point, although now we should be able to do other ones quicker. Now we're looking at OBS. Sorry, you're seeing the infinite screen right now. But what I want to do in here is, so in here you can see how I have everything set up. For those who weren't here on Saturday, you can see all my scenes that I run through and everything. There we go. To include, some of the scenes don't have microphones. So what I want to do is, and you actually see all my other stuff, which is fine. There's nothing secret in here. I want to go to studio mode, which is kind of small, but at least I can work on things here, so it won't still sort of see what I'm doing here. But you can still see the big parts. Which we're gonna go ahead and add. We're gonna call scene. Actually, hold on. I think I already do have a stream starting. So what we're gonna do. So I'm doing this all on one profile. I want to move these. I'm kind of curious. Can you in here? So you have your scene collections. I can duplicate. Okay. I wanted to see if I created these things here. If, you know, I want to actually preserve this, but then I want to have, you know, for, you know, is ever needed again. All right. So we're gonna go in here, and we're gonna say scene, and then we're gonna call this what we're gonna call this. Call this. Let's do this. StreamElements, because you know that actually makes sense. And then once we start using. Okay. And then on here, all we gotta do is go in and add my browser source. Source visible, sure. And then then what I want to do, and I am going to do this light off screen. So we're going to oops, let me do that. So you have your preview that I just clicked on. Really, when all I wanted to do is click that button, copy the URL. And maybe reference, meaning if you're changing. Yes. Now you are, well, yeah, but it would duplicate the whole thing. So I want to be able to duplicate my whole scene collection is what I was saying. And then I'll clean out, which I do have to be careful that, you know, actually it won't allow you to wipe out things if I use them again. Like, for example, I'll be using the cameras in the video settings for now. Okay. All right, at any rate, I want to do this. Just go ahead and 1920 by 80. I'm not going to put Earl in there just yet. We want to control audio via OBS. Leave the customer. We can leave that alone. Shut down source when visible. Yeah, we want to do that. That way, by this, it'll shut down. Basically, like shutting down the ad. Think of it, right? And then we will refresh the browser when scene becomes active. That way, if any changes happen, it's all those. Now, the last thing we'll do, which I'll do that off the stream, add in the URL. Now, there we go. And now I have my starting soon screen. All right. And so, sure enough, we can back up the browser, and it's just. I think this will do what I want to do. So now if I emulate these things, if I do say preview on live stream, now we can see, like if we get a host event, you see it showing up. It's really small, but you see it showing up, which is what which is great. It's a great way to start testing these things. see what's actually happening. All right. And that's really, so that's, I mean, in a nutshell, that's all the steps. I mean, obviously it took a whole long time because I'm exploring this as we're going along. Let's, let me do at least one more, and then I might call it for now. Or I might stay on and keep on streaming until my family comes home. Who knows? So, let me go ahead and move this back to the screen, or the other half of my screen. Now what I want to do, I save this just in case. Now we're going here. Now, the one last thing I want to show. So you notice that this ugly icon, there's actually a purpose for that. Actually, if you go in here and properties, so you can here specify what game. So if you have different overlays for different games or different, so you know, I could put in here science, technology, submit that. And you can see it actually replaces it with that, which is nice. I mean, it makes it a nice way to sort these things out, keep them organized. So that way, you know, the different things. I'm going to take that off. Although most everything I do is science technology. Although right now I'm actually still just chatting, which is, I think that's okay for also. I'm going to leave that, at least for now. But now, another nice thing I can do, I can duplicate this. Where would you like to duplicate this? Oh, okay. Because I have multiple platforms in here. I did put in YouTube. I'm not doing YouTube. Go ahead for learn code. Here we go. We copy up, and we can edit this. And let's call this, I've been calling this my, oh, okay, I've been calling this direction, okay. Sorry, I'm mumbling a little bit to myself. Okay, we're gonna call this just chatting. And now, go ahead, our back overlay. What's interesting? Notice something. So, oh, never mind. That is no. I saw alert box 3. I thought it was because I created it 3 times. No, it's actually it's the layer numbers. That's cool. All right, so let's go here. Go to settings. We're gonna change this video. And then back to overlay screens. And oh, that's right. This won't be this won't be that. Oh, okay. This actually won't have that. Might change this. All right, so we'll just delete that. Okay, and then what we'll want to do. But the big reason why I copy these is so at least I still have these in place, although I'm actually going to move these. That made sense for that. Now, because at least what I've not seen, which would be nice, is if I could copy like the alert box from template to the other. So far the only way I've seen to do this, I say this. Yeah. So, like I said, it would be nice if I could just copy from another thing, which similar like OBS. OBS, I can move things over. That's part of where I say some of the limitations of here. All right, there's some nice things in here, but that would be one limitation. So, all right, what I definitely want to do, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna add. Actually, we are still gonna add a video. Change this. Now I'm going to do my camera overlay. And this one. That is not that one. Yeah, okay. Upload. That. And now we're going to click on that. Now we have this. And we're going to make this bigger. There we go. You can kind of see some nice little animation going on there. Was interesting. I'll just show this for if anyone has any thoughts. I actually had, this was actually the second version. I actually originally had another video. Here was the first one that I did for me. So here's the two different ones. I got them different size. But basically, the first time they did this, all right, cool. I had that rotating bar top, and you know, that's great and all, but I thought it was just too much. Maybe it wouldn't be bad, you know. I mean, I thought about it. I was like, well, maybe do like that and then swap. But I just I don't like this, so I asked him to take that out. We have this. Long story short, let's move that there. And the one thing you can't do in here is finagle your video. Makes sense. And don't worry, I know my alerts are in the way. I'll move those. This one, what I want to do is I want to add my screen chat in here. Oh, okay, that's fine. I need to add another static custom of a image. Oh, what? Too many things. This. Settings. Set image. Here. Other upload of cat box. That. That. Do my other screen just to see how I kind of. Not that I necessarily need to duplicate what I did before, but it was working pretty well. I'm gonna over here, there, do that. Layers. Up. That. Go. And then, yeah, let's just make this bigger. You know, sure enough, the part I don't like is I can't like shift it over. It's like now I'm off screen. It'd be nice if I could. Well, let's like do resizing. At least interesting. I can crop here and I. No, you only crop the bottom. Is this image? Oh, yeah, okay. For sure, if I do size it. Okay. Something like that should work. So let's go ahead. No, lost one video. Palin is I just got where he's streaming right now. He's playing a video game. Let's see. Let's what do I want to do? Oh, I was gonna go in here. Wow, this is interesting. All of these. Settings, position, center that widget first. Move this over. Yeah, that looks good. All right, cool. Now, back to these layers. So can I, is there a way for me to change the name of it? Settings. Yeah, you know, this is one of the interesting things you can do in here. You can say, oh, I want to show message permanently or not. I don't really know why you would not want to show that. It's interesting, like the stream bots, by default, it was the other way around. Delayed by 2 seconds. I don't see any need to delay my. There might be a reason to do that. More chatters will not be shown in widgets. Pressing ignores itself. Sure, that's really what I want it to do. I'm gonna leave that setting for right now. White, custom, custom. Go back to color. Well, I can change. I can have my own color. Well, that's interesting. I'm gonna keep it with dark. But it's interesting you do. Well, you know what? Let's do that. Wow, let's really go in here. So what am I selecting? A background color. It's just, I don't know. Let's just keep this dark. Let's just keep that a dark chat, which is what I want. I'm a programmer. Imagine that. Next settings. Looking at what you can do in here. Clone. Height, all great. Yeah, you know, it'd be nice if you could name me. Because I mean, look at this. I mean, now if I look at my layers, I've got your stream. Okay, your stream chat. Okay, what are these? These are interesting stuff in here. Like I said, I do wish I could name the ability lock layer setting. Yeah, like I said, it'd be nice if you could name these. And maybe if you can, I just don't see it. Group, duplicate, delete. Oh. All right, because like I mean, it's hard to track. I mean, image 6 doesn't tell me what that is. Granted, I can click on it there. All right, so I'm good with those. I think I'm good with the positions. Actually, I probably should move this. Well, okay, sure enough. Let's select these two, group them. Really no way to, oh, wish you could name these. Point. I wish you could name it. Because I want to move. We'll move these up. That up. So now I want to go ahead and lock. Just go block that layer. Lock that layer. Now I'm going to move this here. Not really perfect placement for it. I think that'll work. Lock that. Learn my lesson in OBS. Lock your stuff. Otherwise, you accidentally move things, and the next thing you know, you're nowhere where you want to be. All right, so I think that that should work. So now let's see how well we can make this work. Once we actually put it into OBS. So copy that. Now let me. Oops. So now. Create a new StreamElements. Just chatting. Okay, now we have that blank one. Once again, we'll create a new browser source. Browser. What did I call my last one? It's called browser. It's a quick. Name that to browser. Starting soon. That's good. Starting soon. String soon. My mind wants to write code. All right. Now we'll go here. Browser. We're going to call this browser chatting. And 1920 by 1080. Control audio. Yes. Oh, you know what? Yeah. I'm going to leave it like that. Gotta play with that a little more. I wonder what that does for my. But I'm pretty sure that's what I want to do. Maybe it's not what I want. Shut down, refresh. Okay. And source. Not in front of everybody. There we go. Now we can see that. So now let's go ahead. Yeah, I won't be able to do all these because I want to be able to switch over that, but at the same time I can't because it'll hide my microphone. Oh, I add a microphone. Apparently, interesting. I only see the settings for what I'm using right now, which that makes sense. Doesn't make sense. All right, let me go ahead and add my video capture device. And we're going to do our Brio green screen. Not that I have another Brio setting here. Now we can see this in here. It's kind of fun doing it on this really small screen at the moment. But what I want to do is crop this. You crop in OBS by in the Alt key. Crop like that. Move it in here. That. Center in here. There we go. And there, now we have that setting. We start seeing it. A little bit more blank area than I want. And you know what? That's kind of weird. But if I size this, okay. Oh, okay, so let's do that. I guess now add that. And actually, if I fix my camera, it might be a little bit better centered. Like that. Basically, fill it a little bit. Like I say, if I fix where position my camera is, which, like I say, I'm in the middle of getting ready to replace this. I've got my dummy battery coming in tomorrow, and I've got my new stand coming up. Actually, once I have my dummy battery, I'll probably go ahead and switch. But then, I've got that coming in. I've got my new multi-mount coming in on Thursday. That works. Let's actually crop. It'll crop this just a little bit more, and maybe get a little bit more of t-shirt I'm wearing that day. And then the next thing I want to do, we will pants. There we go. Oh, it wasn't giving me the arrows. Again, yeah, I'm not getting the arrows, but I can drag them. That's weird. All right, so you want the overlay top so that we see everything, and I think we're seeing at least. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Sean. Yeah, I'll contact you. I'm just about to wrap up the stream here, and then we can talk. Cool. So, sure enough, like I was just saying, I am getting ready to wrap up. Let me go ahead and swap that out, and let's go ahead and this button. Oh, and because I'm in studio mode, I have to position. Oh, it's up here. There we go. Back to studio mode. Oh, frick. Now let me do this again. There we go. Definitely want to thank everyone for watching today. I already know who we're going to go over to. Let me just get his thing. We're going to go over Freestyle Coder, who was on our stream earlier. We're going to raid him. I'm of course going to raid someone who's on, who's actually watching the stream earlier. So there, I put in the command in there. I want to thank everyone for watching along today. I'm going to be doing some more. I'm going to probably finish this up today. Get a little bit done quicker since I won't be talking anywhere through. But then I do plan on doing some videos, right? Just so I can, like I say, one, to get some short form videos up there, but two, so that we can start
4,000
getting
characters.
stuff going.
Past
So
that,
let's go ahead and raid.
Hey, everybody. Max, and tell it to store it in a different way. So 4,000 kind of makes sense for things like this. If you are doing a max, you then can think, oh, wow, thanks for the raid, Chad. That is awesome. Welcome, everyone. If I had a button to do it, there would be some sort of ta-da animations, but people who have seen me know I'm not too big on all that ta-das and stuff like that. But yeah, so trivia question for anybody who just showed up. Why is the default length before you have to specify a Invar car max 4,000 characters? Which I actually do know the answer to, but I am not going to look it up. Unless y'all really tell me you don't believe me. But, thank you, sir. Yeah, I really liked it when you went through all the news and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool, especially since I don't